how do I do keto, dairy-free or low dairy? So we had a woman email us and ask us about how in the world can you do keto and not just eat all dairy? So this is a great question. And dairy is actually, if you've hit a plateau, dairy is actually something to look at reducing or completely omitting to get your weight loss results moving again. So I stopped doing dairy a week ago. Yeah, I think it's been, has it been 2 weeks? A week or two ago. I went to minimal dairy. So I'm doing no more than 1 serving of dairy a day. And that's generally like feta cheese. It's a non-cow dairy. So I've really been diving into this and working on adjusting some recipes and working on these things. So I'm going to talk about my favorite swaps for dairy. So the first thing is coconut products. So, we've all seen this canned coconut milk. I'm just going to talk about this one. We've all seen this canned coconut milk. Drop a comment, thumbs up if you've seen this before. So, and you can make your own coconut cream, right, like a whipped cream, by whipping the cream that's on the top. But that's always felt wasteful, right? Because then like you can use the rest of the coconut milk in your coffee or something like that. But a lot of times you really just want that cream. And so now they've finally come out, a couple different companies have come out with this coconut cream. And it says unsweetened here at the bottom. I don't think you can see that in the camera. But so 2 tablespoons has 60 calories, less than a gram of carb. Right, so there's just a little bit of naturally occurring sugar in coconut and 6 grams of fat in 2 tablespoons of this. So this is actually what I use in my coffee. I have a couple different dairy-free coffee creamer recipes I'm going to share with you here at the end as well. But this is a fantastic substitute for heavy whipping cream in your coffee.
So, I like it. And I don't, you don't notice like a strong coconutty flavor or anything like that. And it's really rich.
Yeah, it's rich and satiating. I really enjoy it. And remember that coconut also has those MCTs, those medium chain triglycerides. So those medium chain triglycerides actually convert to energy, to ketones faster than a long chain fatty acid.
Right, because they don't have to go through all of the same processes that a long chain fatty acid does. And so they convert to ketones a lot faster.
So if you're going to make a dairy-free keto coffee, what you could do is a tablespoon of coconut oil and then a tablespoon of coconut cream instead of butter. And then you can blend that together into a very rich, decadent coffee. Or you can just use the coconut cream in your coffee just like you would a creamer. So that's my substitute for heavy whipping cream. And then avocados. Yes, I would start with 1 tablespoon of coconut cream. If it's not enough, you can always add more because it is lower calorie than heavy whipping cream.
Right. Yeah.
So avocados and avocado oil. So I use avocados in place of cheese a lot of times. So I love to eat salads and I love a lot of cheese on my salads. So I'm using more avocado.
The great thing about avocado is if you're looking for something to replicate like a cheese kind of bite and chew, is you can let it get more or less ripe, right? And so the less ripe it is, a little bit firmer it's going to be, like a firmer cheese. And, the more ripe it is, it's going to be a little creamier, like a softer cheese.
So then some of our favorite cooking oils, instead of using butter, is avocado oil. Is very neutral tasting and it has a high smoke point. So you can use it to cook your eggs in, you can use it to grill.
Yeah, and I was actually read an article this week about olive oil and some of the fallacy around olive oil having a really low smoke point. Turns out it really doesn't have as high a smoke point as olive oil, avocado oil. But they did find that olive oil really holds up to multiple heating. So if you're using it in a fryer, as long as you don't smoke it, aka burn it, then it holds up really well and doesn't change over time if you're heating it to temperatures that you could cook in.
And that's a quick tip, inside of a tip, is never heat your oils to where they're smoking.
Right, that you're damaging the fats when you're bringing it to the smoke point and beyond.
Yeah, and you don't want that in your body. All right, so olives. Olives are is what I'm doing for a snack instead of like cheese cubes, because I used to eat, cheese was kind of my go-to snack, or if I didn't have enough fat in my diet, I would add more cheese to the meal. So now I'm doing things like olives or some nuts and seeds. So not everybody can tolerate nuts and seeds, but we are going to cover it here. So you can eat nuts whole or grind them into nut butters at home yourself, or purchase them with nut butters. When you're buying nut butters, do make sure you read that ingredients list and make sure there's not any sugar or any of the other tricky sugar names in there. Fructose, sucrose, dextrose. Yeah.
And if you're going to start eating a lot of nuts, then you're going to probably want to buy it in bulk, someplace like Costco or the bulk bins at your store.
Yeah. So nut milk alternatives. So I was looking at, our online shopping was down, so I was actually looking at Instacart at all the different milk alternatives that are on the store shelves right now. So there's macadamia nut milk is a newer one that's on the shelves that's quite delicious. There's your normal almond milk and coconut milk you can get in like the half gallons. But now there's a pea milk that I noticed was out that's low carb. It was like 64 fluid ounces, and I was like, that's a pretty big container to just try something.
It's a gallon.
Yes, it's a lot.
Wait, is that a gallon?
There was hemp milk and also flax milk. So there's a lot of milk alternatives that I saw 0 carbs on the label that you can play around with, to find something else to use other than heavy whipping cream, which is kind of our normal keto go-to. Now, so what do you do about salad dressings? So I would recommend you learn how to make your own, because when you learn how to make your own salad dressing, the sky becomes the limit. You can do anything with flavor and taste, anything like that. And I'm experimenting with a number of different recipes, so do look for those coming out over the next few months. But let's see, this weekend I made
Thai?
Yeah, like a Thai chili.
And you made that out of that hot chili oil.
Yeah, so yes, so we had made a hot chili oil, and I'm playing around with that. So look for those recipes coming soon. But we have a Pampered Chef salad dressing bottle, right? It has recipes right on the side of the bottle. I got it years ago as a gift. And that's how I teach my kids to make salad dressing, is they just follow the ingredients with some swaps. So, for example, soy sauce has gluten in it, so it's not keto friendly. So instead, use coconut aminos or the Bragg's liquid aminos in place of soy sauce. When you see sugar on a recipe, substitute that out with something like Lakanto's monk fruit blend or Boca Sweet or allulose or erythritol, and just sub that out with whatever you like. Use that. And then just beware of, like hidden sugars in some ingredients. So if you're not sure about an ingredient, just research it. And one tip is that mustard is an emulsifier. So mustard will help hold the oil and the other ingredients together. That's something I learned from my cousin, who's a chef who we're working on another cookbook with. So learning to make your own salad dressings is just, it's amazing and it's fun. I love to make them the day before because the flavors do develop overnight. So the dressing I made today is what I'll be eating on throughout the week.
Denny mentioned this. I think we talked about this. Yeah, there was an article about avocado oil and its popularity, and one of the ones that is safe and was tested safe and pure is the one that's at Costco, and that's Mary Ann's.
Yeah, so Mary Ann's avocado oil at Costco, you'll be good to go. And that's really an affordable way to buy it.
It's probably the most affordable way because you get the smaller ones at the grocery store and the prices are just a lot higher.
So coffee creamers. I mentioned I was going to share a few recipes. We've posted those in the comments. We have a dairy-free vanilla coffee creamer. I'm a vanilla girl, but right now we're headed into fall, so I had to include my dairy-free pumpkin spice coffee creamer. Our oldest teen, who's on keto right now, is wanting to make that tonight, so I'm going to be making that with her after the live stream. And then I wanted to cover keto breads because a lot of keto breads are cheese-based. Are dairy-based, including one of our recipes. It's pretty much mostly cheese. So I actually do have a recipe that's dairy-free and that's coconut flour-based. So this is actually the one that I tend to turn to more because I know that dairy. So what does dairy do to me? It makes me gain weight. And we can dive more into why dairy makes you gain weight. If you're interested, just drop us a comment and let us know you want us to cover that topic. But just know that that if you think about, just real quick, if you think about like babies of all mammals,
Mm-hmm.
they need to gain weight rapidly. And what do they eat? Milk. Like milk is really was created to put on weight.
Yeah.